welcome to the Junkets Games teaser for Hallertau, where I'll be briefly discussing what this game is like to play. Now, if you want detailed rules for the game, then you can find those in the Learn While You Play tutorial that I also made for the game, and you can find a link to that down below in the description, or by clicking the eye up there in the top corner. Now, with that out of the way, let's discuss what this game is like to play, and at its heart, this game is all about making a bunch of resources and then using those to play a bunch of cards. There is a lot more going on to the game, but what you are doing on your turns is you're going to be spending workers, placing them out onto a large grid in the middle of the table. Now, this grid has 20 different action spots on it, and the sooner you place workers down onto those locations, the less workers you have to use. Now, that's important because you only have a certain number of workers in each of the game's 6 rounds, and as you play through the game, you will be able to actually upgrade your player area to give you more and more workers, up to 12 of them per round, which will let you do more and more things. Now, at its heart, this game has a planting and harvesting mechanic where you have this board in front of you with a bunch of rows and columns. Now, the rows dictate how fertile those specific fields are going to be, and one of the things that you can do through actions or other means is actually sow crops onto these fields. You do that by placing one crop down, and then later on in the round, you can harvest that field, moving that token over to the left, and what will happen is that one crop might turn into 2, 3, 4, or even 5 crops, depending on how fertile that field was, and again, how high that field is on the track dictates just how fertile it's going to be. So you can make more resources from the resources that you already have, and then as you play through the game, you are going to be drawing these cards into your hand, which might want you to spend a variety of things to play them out to gain benefits, or just might need you to have certain amounts of things that you don't even have to spend, so you just have thresholds. Now, these cards will give you a wide variety of benefits. Sometimes they will increase your income, so that means every single one of the game's rounds you will actually make stuff because you played that card already, while others will just give you a bunch of different things, like spend a couple of things to get more of other things, which you might be able to chain into playing even more of your cards out. This game really is all about those cards that you have in your hand, because not only do they give you benefits, which might let you play other cards from your hand, but many of them also give you victory points. Now, another big way that you get points involves upgrading your area that I briefly discussed earlier. Now, at the end of each one of the rounds, you can spend a wide variety of resources to move these little craft houses over to the right on your player board. The amount of resources that you have to spend will go up as you progress throughout the game's 6 rounds, so it's easier to move those houses earlier on in the game. However, earlier on in the game, you likely have less resources and less stuff to actually move those over, whereas late game, you might have 12 workers and a whole bunch of income cards in front of you, which will give you the stuff that you need to move those over. Now, every time you move all of your craft houses over once, you can then move this large house tile in front of you over until it bumps into one of those craft houses. And this is key because that is how you get more workers at the start of each round, which will let you do more things like gain the resources that you need, as well as spending those workers to draw more cards, which will give you more stuff to play more cards. So this game really is all about that cyclical nature as you are trying to plant your crops as well as you can, harvest your fields in ways that make sense, and also trying to strategically leave your fields fallow, or at least some of them. If you don't plant into a field, it actually moves up, which means it will be more fertile in the next round of the game. So it's possible that you can be short-sighted and plant into all of your fields every single round and have all of your fields be a lot less productive later on in the game. Fortunately, there's lots of ways to gain more fields, but that's just part of the strategic mixture that you are trying to navigate through as you are playing this game. Now, as I mentioned, this game takes place over 6 overall rounds, and in each of those rounds there are 10 steps, but that seems more complicated than it is, because only one out of those 10 steps doesn't happen simultaneously, and you only make decisions in 2 of those steps. So there are quite a few procedures that you will all be doing at the same time, which let you do things like harvest your resources as well as milking the sheep that you might have, and doing other things like taking your income. Now, the game itself usually takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play, even at the full player count, although if you have 4 new people to the game could certainly take over 2 hours, in my experience anyway. So yeah, that is a brief overview of what Hallertau is like to play, and again, if you want the details of how any of this stuff works, then please check out the Learn While You Play tutorial video that I also made for the game.